share this video with a friend.
Shifting gears, I interviewed this gentleman last year via video Skype for radio listeners and for TV viewers. And I've seen what he's done in the courts in Texas. I've seen how he's advised people nationally. I've heard him talk about the Constitution, Bill of Rights, ways to effectively know your rights. If you don't know your rights, it's like you're blind walking around the middle of the jungle or something. And I said to him, I said, you need to put this in a book. You need to put this in a book because the laws are similar in all 50 states. This is important. If you're in England, it's similar because it's common law, Magna Carta. You need to know this. So he did it. He did it and dropped a case of these off, or one of his guys did 2 weeks ago, and he's been out of town. Finally got back. Jamie Balagia is here. Texas DWI Survival Guide, a Citizen's Protection Manual. And, of course, he was a police officer for 13 years and has now been a lawyer for quite a few years after that. And he's also brought with him one of his former, I guess, Austin detectives is his investigator on this. And, folks, they've got illegal checkpoints now in Austin, pulling people over for, quote, DWI, even though texting's 5 times more dangerous. And my issue is this. Under common law, if someone is recklessly driving, I want to get this straight here. That is a felony, folks, if you endanger people. Whether you're drunk, whether you're on pills, whether you're beating your wife while you're driving, whatever it is, the old law was you're recklessly driving 100 miles an hour in the wrong lane. The jury calls you, and you're going to get a couple of years in jail, folks. You kill somebody, you're going to go to jail for 20 years. Now, that's my common law understanding. I'm not a lawyer like him. I want to see if he says I'm right. But the point is that I get pulled over randomly all the time. And I know I'm not speeding, just to see, and they smell, and I go over the Congress Bridge on some business or something. You know, it's 8 at night. Oh, okay, you can go even though you were speeding. I'm like, I wasn't speeding. You're part of the DWI squad. Yeah, Alex, so what? And those guys get paid a lot more than the regular cops. And why do you have bars all over the country and the world, and then they let those operate, but then they're going to arrest you if you've had 2 beers, which most people that weigh 250 pounds like I do don't even feel it, folks. So it's a way to enslave the American people, in my humble opinion, to bring in incredible tyranny and give us all a record. And I, thank God, don't drink and drive. And thank God, back in college, except the few times I was coming from parties or whatever, because obviously I wouldn't drive, I was impaired, I never, got pulled over, went to jail. But the issue is almost everyone I know has a DWI or is getting one. I mean, this is an epidemic, and it's about money. But his book isn't just about that. It's about your rights under the Bill of Rights and how even if they arrest you, they're going to throw it out. And I know people that have him as a lawyer, follow what he says. He puts big ads in the paper telling people their rights. He's done it in our magazine. And just those basic facts does it. So the book is so important. We're selling it. And the stuff in here would cost you thousands of dollars if you got it from a lawyer. He's putting out the trade secrets here for you as a public service. That's why it's $39.95, because he'll lose money putting this out in the final equation. Law books are usually hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, folks. So this is a very important law book, InfoWarsStore.com. Jamie, we're going to go to break in a minute. That's a long intro, but I just admire the work you're doing and the ads you put, in the bars, the restaurants, because now they're starting to pull people over and say, oh, we're going to dab your cheek. You smoked marijuana yesterday. You're going to lose your right to drive, or we're going to suck you dry. How bad is this, and why'd you write the book?
Well, partially because of your prompting, and I appreciate that. It is a citizen's guide. It's not meant for lawyers. It's not meant for judges or police officers, not that they'll learn anything anyway, but it's for the people, because I'm so alarmed by the fear factor that they're putting out across this nation now. You know, the hardcore media, everything's to be feared. The drunk driver's going to kill you. The marijuana's going to kill you. We can protect you. We can run your life better than you can. Don't listen to what built this country. Listen to us. I don't like it. So we're trying to send a message out, know your rights, and stand up for them. I so admire you and your listeners, because they're not part of the sheeple of this country. They just baa along while they're being run down into the slaughterhouse. You know, when are they going to wake up and realize, just like in Nazi Germany, everything was fine until they turned those showers on and it wasn't hot water and soap. And, you know, are we being alarmist? Well, if you don't scream out alarm, the fire, you know, burns down the house while you're in it. So the call has to go out.
Absolutely. We're going to break in a moment, but you've been 35 years in the system, as you say it, 13 as a police officer. I mean, is that what woke you up, was seeing the change?
I refer to it as the machine. It just crushes people. It crushes our rights. Everyone wants you to focus on the bad guy, the criminal. But you know what? Nowadays, the criminal is your brother. It's your neighbor. It's you. And we have to stop this. We have to stop it now. I'm amazed at, with all the information that's out here on the internet and great shows like this one, we still have the majority of our people, the vast majority, are just, they're deaf, blind, and dumb. They refuse to get away from the video games and pay attention to real news like you have and speak out. Stand up to your government and tell them, we run this country, you don't. But as well as you and I both know right now, they run us.
Absolutely. The book's available at InfoWarsStore.com. We're going to go over your basic rights, powerful weapons that if you use them, you're basically invincible. Stay with us. By the way, I was talking to Jamie Balagia, constitutional lawyer, decades before that, 13 years as a police officer, 12 of it as an Austin police officer, and I could have this guy in every 5 hours. So we need to get going with this interview, covering all the facets. But the book, Texas DWI Survival Guide, is available at InfoWarsStore.com, but it's applicable all over the country with the basic Bill of Rights and Constitution. We're going to talk about that, but the reason I wanted to get him in was that through his intermediary, when he dropped the books off, he was saying, you know, Jamie's mad about the NSA. He wants to talk about that. He wants to talk about these federal laws. And here it is. U.S. directs agents to cover up program used to investigate Americans, where the NSA is given everything to the DEA and then to local police. Folks, of course they're using it all illegally. It's unbelievable. Jamie.
Yes,
comments on that.
NSA is not going to target American citizens. That's exactly who they're targeting, American citizens. Every phone call, every email, every text, they keep it all. And now we find out because of by accident, a case up in New York, a judge finds out that the NSA is actually telling the DEA, the FBI, lie in your affidavits for search warrants, lie in your arrest warrant affidavits. Don't tell them you got this from us. That is a crime.
Yeah, they told him, go manufacture a fake investigation, create fake evidence to get the warrant.
And only when fake evidence comes and knocks on your door and drags you out of your house do you get concerned. We need to get concerned now.
Fake evidence is, I mean, that's like kryptonite to Superman. I mean, that's the worst thing for a country.
Like planting dope on you, or the Salinas v. Texas case just came out. Unless you actively, in your own words, state, I am invoking my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, you have basically, if you just become silent and don't answer their questions, that is now allowed into court as evidence of guilt. That's insane. For 30, 40 years, we've all been told on TV and the movies by your lawyer.
It's like North Korea.
Yeah, that you know, remain silent, call a lawyer. Now you remain silent, you're guilty. Unless you use the legal term, I'm invoking my right to remain silent.
And you better remain silent, especially with the feds. They always convict people for lying to them when you don't even really lie. They just say you lied and you go to jail for that.
I'm proud
feds
to be
come around. Feds come around here. What do? Keep your mouth shut.
Keep your mouth shut. Tell them you want to talk to your lawyer and you don't want to talk to them. I mean, I always ask the police officers, if you get brought into IRS because they're looking at your tax return and it's a criminal investigation, are you going by yourself or are you taking a lawyer? Every one of them says, oh, I'm not going by myself. I'm not answering their questions, not IRS. I said, well, then why do you get offended when I tell my clients not to answer your questions? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Don't answer their questions. Don't cooperate. They twist it into...
I had a state police guy last year try to say that my Topo Chico was beer. And I said, man, you know that's water. He's looking right in it. I go, that's water. That's a clear bottle. And he was like, are you on drugs, Alex? And I went, man, I got really mad. But because now when you get pulled over, it's like secret police questioning. It just goes on and on.
If they smell alcohol in your breath, or if they think they do, the odds are you're going to jail. If you were foolish enough to blow into the breathalyzer and it shows you're under an 08, then they'll say, oh, well, you can't handle your liquor, or, oh, you're on drugs as well. There's never, oh, we made a mistake. Let us get your car out of pound. Let us apologize. Let us get you back where you need to be. It's not the way it works anymore. It wasn't like that when I started in law enforcement.
I want to talk about how it started out when you were first in law enforcement as a peace officer and where it's going now, but what about the other stuff happening in the country and the illegal checkpoints the feds are paying for? I mean, it's crazy.
I don't like the fact that the Border Patrol, when I go hunting in South Texas, stops me and wants to know where I'm from, where I'm going, what I'm doing. If you can't look at me and tell I'm an American citizen and buy my car, the way I dress, the way I act, then you shouldn't be at this job.
Listen, the Border Patrol, every time I go down there, and I want to go to Big Bend, I want to go to South Padre, every time they know who I am by name and still want to search the vehicle.
They sure do.
I mean, they know who I am, and they still want to.
Their dogs will scratch up your car.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the dogs will hit on a car because what's a hit by a dog?
A biscuit.
Because a flea bites him? Right.
Oh, well, that's the old joke, like Roscoe Pico Train with Flash would always say he smelled drugs, you know, to get a biscuit.
That's right. He wants the biscuit. That's how they train him. A dog knows I want to get petted, not told to sit. So it works all the way around. Now, nationally on DWI, it's just getting worse and worse. The surcharges from a DWI conviction, if you have the bad luck of hiring an attorney who doesn't know what he's doing, it never goes away. It stays on your back forever. Your insurance rate.
I've had 3 tickets in like the last 5 years. I looked it up. I don't know how they told me one more ticket, I get this surcharge.
Well, you also need to find out about how many taxes they're putting on each ticket. In Texas, every traffic ticket that's written that you pay, 50 cents goes to Prairie View A&M University. Why? Why is my traffic ticket supporting a state university? And whatever goes over their cutoff point goes back into the general fund. They're taxing us without telling us. They're lying to us again, using the criminal justice system and the local police to step on you.
Constitutional lawyer Jamie Balagia is here with us. I'm Alex Jones. We'll get deep into it straight ahead. Folks, it's the Texas DWI Survival Guide, a Citizens Protection Manual. And, you know, Jamie, it's got your name there at the top, but tell me about these other guys that are in here and why people should get this book and what they'll learn in the book. And then I want to get into all the subjects you want to talk about as a constitutional lawyer.